Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but I'm back. Sorry for the long time away. And today we are going to be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. There has been so much being said about this film. So many people are talking about it. So I'm going to do a video today and we are going to discuss what all this, big hoo-ha is about. So let's get straight into it. So to start off, as you can see, I'm on Rotten Tomatoes right now. And as you can tell on Rotten Tomatoes, the scores are not looking good for Ant-Man. It's got 48% from critics and 84% from the audience. Although bearing in mind, the audience have only really had a day or so to see this movie. So, the audience score is going to change. It'll go up, it will go down. You know how it goes with these movies. But what I want to get into is, why is everyone making such a big deal about this movie? Now, here's why so many people are making such a big deal about this movie. This movie, just like Doctor Strange, was built up to be this big movie. It was going to be the big revelation about Kang. We were going to finally see Kang on screen. And so far, from what I can see from a lot of the reviews out there, is that Kang himself in the movie is the best thing in the movie. And me personally, I always knew that was going to be the case because Jonathan Majors is such a good actor, and I think his small stint in the Loki Disney Plus show, I think that was just enough to just let you know that this guy is going to be great in this role. Now, what the problem is with this film, a lot of people are saying the dialogue is terrible, the story is terrible, and just every part of this movie is not as good as basically previous movies of this much hype have been. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through some of what the critics have been saying, and the few audience members that have seen this film, I'm going to read out basically what they've been saying and then come to a conclusion in my mind, because I haven't seen this film yet. So I can't really pass a judgment on how good this film is until I see it. So when I see it, I will probably then be able to have my say, and I'll probably post that on here or TikTok. You know how it goes. So let's go straight into all these reviews. So first off, I'm going to start off with what some of the critics are saying. And I'll be honest with you, I've gone through a few of these before I started this video, and they're not great, man. They're not great. So let's start off with Dustin Chase from the Galveston Daily News. Nothing more than a desperate money grab for Marvel, overplaying an already weak minor character to buy time for the next phase. Akio Aurora from AkioAurora.com says Jonathan Majors is great, but his Kang, the Marvel Cinematic Universe's next big bad, suffers in a film that looks fake and struggles to sketch an arc for its growing ensemble. Ruth Maramis from Flix Chatter Filmblog. Despite strong performances from the cast, Quantumania is dull, exhausting to sit through. It's dull and exhausting to sit through. Marvel's glory days might be behind us, and I'm really not looking forward to the rest of phase 5. Now he goes on and on and on. Actually, they've got another one here. I'm not going to just show negative reviews. Despite an uneven tone, Quantumania mostly works as an enticing superhero adventure, despite how hard it veers away from Ant-Man's previous zippy nature. Christopher Mitchell says Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania may be lacking in any discernible drama or emotional stake, but it is easily one of the most solidly entertaining and spectacular Marvel's Phase 4 run of film and TV. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter how bad this film is. When you calculate the rest of Phase 4, it's probably better than most of it, and more like we're used to. But what I'm seeing a lot of what people are saying, whether it be critics reviewing it, whether it be viewers reviewing it, a lot of them are saying the word dull and boring. Now, for the previous two Ant-Man films, they were not dull and boring. They were quite fun. They were fun films to watch, like Shazam. I would put Ant-Man in the same bracket as Guardians of the Galaxy and a Shazam movie. They all seem to be in the same bracket. Good superhero movies, funny and enjoyable to watch. But it feels like, from what a lot of people are saying, that this Ant-Man movie isn't like that. And there is one thing that did concern me when, when this was first announced. I think this is like the first time the big villain of a phase for a saga of the Avengers has been a villain in any film. Thanos was never a main character in any film that he has been in before Infinity War. Prior to Infinity War, you saw Thanos' face maybe twice, actually 3 times. So I think it's the end of Avengers Assemble, the end of Age of Ultron, and then you saw him in Guardians of the Galaxy. But never was he on screen for longer than 20 seconds. Kang is like a major part of this movie, and he's the big villain. Now, me personally, I already have an idea of how this whole Kang story is going to roll out. I think there's going to be more links to him as the films go on. I think we'll get to Kang Dynasty. The Avengers will take him down, whoever the Avengers are. And then right at the end of the film, Mysterio style, I think he will open up the multiverse, sending all the variants of the Avengers to attack them. And that will be like his last act. And then you'll have Secret Wars where it's just the Avengers basically against themselves. But that's my theory. I could be wrong. I'm more likely I'm wrong. I'm very rarely am I right with these things. But that's just my opinion on the matter. But yeah, so I'm just going to go on to some of the audience reviews, because some of the audience reviews, not everyone hates this film. There are a lot of people that have been very angry about this movie, that they just couldn't believe that it wasn't as good as they thought it was going to be. Because the trailers make this film look amazing. Let's be honest with ourselves. So it's hard to imagine anyone wouldn't like it based on that in trailers. And also, spoiler alert, Lewis is not in this movie. So for me, that's a big L right there. That's an L. Lewis, for me, is one of the great things I like about the Ant-Man movies, which tells me this film must be majority set in the quantum realm. But let's get into the audience reviews and see what the audience have to say about this film. Reds had this to say. He gave it 2 stars out of 5. It was a good family movie, but not a good action movie, especially for an Avenger. They could have put in more effort. Jason writes, better than expected. Overall, I enjoyed Ant-Man Quantumania, but MODOK's face though, that was hilarious. If you know, you know. Lewis puts, love the continuity and how Cassie has become a hero in her own right. But here's the problem, that Cassie wasn't a hero. So she's just going to come out the hero out of the blue. That's what we're going to do. I just feel like them making her a hero so quickly is trying to push the matter. And it seems Marvel are dead set on this Young Avengers crap. And I'm saying this crap because Young Avengers is not going to appeal to anyone who isn't 13 or 14. And I think Marvel need to realize that the money coming in the door ain't coming from 13 and 14 year olds. It's coming from actual adults. So I don't understand why Hollywood is so hell-bent on appealing to teenagers, because teenagers got no money. You need to appeal to everyone. You need to you have a business, yeah? When you have a business model and your business model thrives on as many customers as possible, it should ultimately be your goal that we must appeal to everybody as much as we can. And if we can't appeal to everybody, we need to appeal to the highest percentage of humans on this planet. Hollywood has seemed to forgot that, because they're not interested in appealing to a high percentage of humans. They're just interested into appealing to whoever, you know, makes them look good, if you know what I mean. Ronnie BK had this to say. Typical story and ending. It was a money grab and they took mine. I'm very much a fan of the Avengers, but this has gone too far for me. Yes, me, but you may like it. Then some other people saying they enjoyed the movie. Got 4 out of 5 stars. 3.5. 3.5. This one loved it. Punk Rock Squawk said this. I needed a good Marvel flick after some disappointing ones. Definitely a crazy fun adventure into the quantum multiverse. Can't wait to see what happens next. And Philip basically goes on to say the movie was slow, as everyone's been saying, and dull and boring. So that's really what is going on here, everyone. You know, this is not the Ant-Man Quantumania that everyone wanted, was expecting. And there's a lot of people out here left utterly disappointed. Now, I have seen that the rating on here is 48% for Rotten Tomatoes. On IMDb, it's quite bad as well. And Letterboxd, I've heard that is not that good either. So, as you can tell, you know, the audience scores will go up, I think, maybe, because I think we've been through a whole phase 4 now of such low quality productions from Marvel that I think now people have become accustomed to it and convinced themselves that something is better than it is. I mean, Ms. Marvel got rave reviews saying it is such a great show, but I think Ms. Marvel, if you ain't a teenager, I just don't see how you can enjoy that show. For me, it felt I did not enjoy Ms. Marvel. You know what I loved the most about Ms. Marvel was the Muslim stuff. I'm not a Muslim personally, but I liked how much they were trying to be authentic in that show. I enjoyed that. I was scared that they were not gonna go full blown, you know, and show you what life is like for a Muslim teenager, but they did the best that they could, and I think that was really good. That's what I liked about it. But then there was other things I didn't like about it, like why is she obsessed with Captain Marvel? It makes no sense. In a couple of years' time, maybe 5 years' time, it would have made sense, but now it didn't make any sense. It would make much more sense if she was obsessed with Black Widow or Scarlet Witch, you know, because they've been around. But, you know, Carol hasn't. She hasn't even been on Earth. So that I thought was a bit stupid, but that's just me. But yes, so we will come down, you know, we'll see something average and we'll make out that it's better than it is. And I think right now, I think Disney, Marvel, and DC, they're about to trade places. I think what we're going to start to see now is people's expectations for Marvel movies are going to start to be very low, and then DC is going to start churning out some really good movies, and it's going to be a turning of the tide. And I think that's one thing as comic book fans we're going to have to accept. We are never going to get DC and Marvel kicking ass at the same time. Well, that's it today for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, if you did, please like the video. Helps with the algorithm and helps me get this video to as many people as possible. And if you really enjoyed the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. As usual, take care and live long and prosper.